Hey, what is up you guys? I just want to say happy birthday to Marcus. He has a birthday today, and in honor of his birthday I am gonna give him the Pokemon that he requested, and that's an Aguilash. I think that's how you pronounce it. So if you have a birthday coming up, let me know. That way I could probably give you a Pokemon that you really been wanting to have. But that's only if you really have a birthday coming up, you guys. Alright, so let me know below if you have a birthday coming up this month or next month. Yeah, but so without any further talking, let's just get right into the giveaway, because I know you guys are probably like, okay, when is he gonna stop talking? Okay, so here we go. Hey, what is going on you guys? I have a battle for you guys that I recorded and then I thought would be really interesting in sharing. I'm also gonna share how to use Mega Pidgeot. Yeah buddy, I will be battling Marcus, and by the way, happy birthday bro. I started bringing out my Dragonite and he brings out his cool shiny Arceus. He goes for an Ice Beam and I'm like, okay crap. So that does some quite damage to me, it's super effective. So I go for a Thunder Wave hoping that I can get an extra move out of him for the next turn. So he's somewhat paralyzed. And I have leftovers with me, so I get to heal just a little bit. So my next strategy is like, okay, I'm gonna go for substitute. That way if I do get a free move, then I could use Dragon Tail or something. So then unfortunately he didn't get paralyzed, so then he just goes for a Judgment right away. That takes out my substitute. So now, hoping that I can move first, but unfortunately I can't, and he goes for another Judgment. So that should actually take my Dragonite pretty well. So Dragonite, you did pretty good, buddy. My next Pokemon is going to be Chansey, and Chansey is really cool because I'm just going to be using Minimize 2 times, and I should be really good from there. So this is the first Minimize. He's still paralyzed, so that's technically a free move right there. So I go for another Minimize. And yeah, I pretty much avoided that Earthquake really good, so I go for a Seismic Toss. And I try to do somewhat damage to Arceus right there. And he goes for another Earthquake, and unfortunately I actually get hit this time. So he did somewhat okay damage, and I still keep going for the same move, Seismic Toss. I'm trying to just, take some HP out of him. He goes for an Ice Beam. I'm like, okay, oh crap, okay, I hope I don't get frozen, and I don't. So I just keep going with a Seismic Toss. Hopefully he doesn't have like a move like Recover or something. So he goes for another Judgment. So now he's trying to make some damage to my Chansey, but Chansey is pretty tanky, so it can take that move. So I keep going for another Seismic Toss. I know it seems kind of repetitive at this point, but that's pretty much the only move I have. Train his Arceus. Now he's bringing a Velta, and I have somewhat, I don't have that much HP, so I try to recover myself. And he goes first, but I avoided that attack, so I managed to recover myself. And so now I'm like, okay, so let me make some time for you. So so I avoided that move again. I go for a Toxic, that way I can poison him and try to stall him as best as I can. That way that Toxic tries to eliminate him. He goes for a Sucker Punch, but I avoided. So at this time he's like thinking, okay, so that Chansey is probably a pain in the butt because I can't do anything to it. And I also have Quick Claw, so that makes me move first. So I do another Seismic Toss, and by this point that poison should try to eliminate him. So he goes for I can't even pronounce it right now. He goes for Oblivion Wing. He heals, but all that healing pretty much is gonna go away by poison because he's poisoned right now, so he goes away. And I get quick claw, and I get another move, so I get to move first again. I go up for another seismic toss, and I'm like, okay, well at this point, you know, that toxic pretty much did the job right there. So that's 2 Pokemons that I fainted. So now he only has 4 Pokemons, and I still have 5 Pokemons. So now he brings a shiny Mew, pretty cool, and he goes for an Aura Sphere, and I'm like, okay, so that's pretty much gonna do a lot of damage right there. So it does somewhat damage. I go for Toxic, and then, you know, I'm like, it's my moves, he's avoiding my moves. He goes for another Aura Sphere, and at this point I'm thinking, wait a minute, he probably has Synchronize, which if like I poison him, then I'll get poisoned back. So I'm like, I'm not doing any damage, so I try to do some damage while I'm still alive. So that does somewhat okay damage, and he goes for another Aura Sphere, and I'm like, okay, crap, I'm probably not gonna survive this, but if I do, I'll go for a Toxic, and I do survive, so I go for Toxic, I land the Toxic, he gets poisoned, and like I said, I was right, he has Synchronized, so then I get poisoned as well, but since I'm already dead, it's worth it. Hopefully he doesn't have like Heal Bell or something to take that poison away, or the move Recover that way, you know. So he goes for an Earthquake, I avoid that attack, I'm like, holy crap, I better make some damage while I can. So I go and do Seismic Toss and try to do as much as possible damage while I can. He gets poisoned, so that helps a little bit. And I get poisoned as well, so that takes me out. And so I'm like thinking, okay, what's my best Pokemon right now? So Crobat has U-Turn, and I go for U-Turn, and it's a super effective move, so Mew is out of the picture here. He only has 3 Pokemons left. And now, I bring out my Pidgeot, which by the way, I'm going to be giving out this Pokemon today. It's shiny, it's level 100, and 6 IVs. So he brings out a Jinx, which is Ice, and I'm gonna Mega Evolve my Pokemon, and he's never gonna see this move coming. So I go for a Heat Wave, and you know, I hope to take his Jinx. So I eliminate Jinx. So Jinx never had the opportunity to have a nice move on me and take my Pidgeot out. So he goes for a shiny Xerneas. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't have a move that's super effective against shiny Xerneas, so my only move right now is Hurricane, and that does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't do more damage than just half, so I get hit with a Moonblast pretty bad. So I go for another Hurricane. Hurricane is kind of risky to use just because it's not always guaranteed to land, but I managed to land 2 perfect Hurricanes. And he's out of the picture, so now his next Pokemon is Genesect. And I was thinking, should I just recover or should I just get him out of the picture? So I go for another Heat Wave, and that should do quite a damage to Genesect, if not take him out. So I take him out, and that's it. Mega Pidgeot, it's really good, depending how you use it. Like, I always try to use my Mega Pokemons towards the middle or kind of towards the end, and that way people don't know what moves you have and you can surprise them like that. So I don't know, have fun you guys, and have a good one.